Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap, and today we have Kishore with us who has secured rank 88 in UPSC EPFO AO EO exam. And today he is with us and he's going to share his learnings, he's going to share his experience, and I'm sure that you are going to learn a lot through his journey, and through that you will be able to optimize your strategy, and that will definitely help you in your preparation. Fine. So first of all, a big congratulations to you, Kishore, for securing such a great rank in such a competitive exam.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you so much for coming to our show. And thank you so much for sharing your success story with all the viewers.
Thank you,
So,
sir.
so before we begin the session and before we talk about all those standard learnings like what sources you used, what timetable did you prefer, all the sort of things, I would like to ask a very popular question which many of your friends, relatives would have asked you, that what was your first reaction when you saw your result and when you saw that name in that merit list? What was your reaction and what was your family reaction at that time? I would like to know that. I'm very curious.
It was a very happy moment in my life. It is somewhat undescribable, I would say. I was feeling very happy. I was also relieved to some extent to see my name in the list. My family members also were very happy for me.
Yes, of course, they would be happy because let me tell you, viewers, that Kishore has been preparing for such a long time before EPFO. He was also preparing for civil services. He has appeared for multiple mains, and afterwards, he got this opportunity to prepare for this exam also. And he's going to highlight this angle or dimension also, that should UPSC aspirant keep this EPFO as a backup option or not. We will talk about it, do not worry. But since he has been preparing for such a long time, so this undescribable, I would say, reaction, or I mean, you cannot describe it in words because because it shows his dedication and all his hard work. Now moving on to next question. First of all, Kishore, I would like you to please share your backgrounds with the viewers, that where do you come from, and also what type of students you were when you were there in the school, and also sort of things you can share your educational background also. So please go for it.
So I come from Tiruvannamalai district in Tamil Nadu. I have completed my bachelor's in engineering from Shivnadar University in Greater Noida. I've also completed my master's from the United States in the same field. And then I decided to take a plunge into the civil services. So I have always been a bright student, but for the first moment in my life, if I faced failure in academics, it is in the civil services exam. So civil services can be that humbling, actually. So it is a very competitive exam. And it was during COVID-19. So COVID created a lot of challenges during my preparation. I had to overcome those challenges as well. So that was my brief, background.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing it in a brief manner. And next, I would like to know that you already had a, I would say, well settled career. What was your motivation behind appearing for civil services examination?
So serving my country has always been an important motivation in my life. I always wanted to serve my country in one way or the other. So I initially had some plans for myself. I wanted to do a PhD and get a doctorate and serve in the scientific field, but that did not work out. And I wanted to come back to my country and serve my country. So there were multiple options in front of me. I could have taken a job and settled down in the United States, but what I did was I wished to come back and try for the civil services because it is one of the best ways in which you can serve your country. So that motivated me to switch track and try the civil services.
Okay, great. So you choose to go for your inner call and you went for the preparation. And today you are sitting over here after becoming a topper, after cracking this exam. And that's a great way. So before we talk about regarding the different aspects of the preparation, I would like to ask you that since, when we have seen the past year trends with respect to the CPFO exam, when it was conducted in 2017, then 2021, and later on 2023, then we have observed that in the year 2023 the exam pattern, I would say, it was the level of the exam was a bit higher as compared to the previous years. Fine, we have interacted with other aspirants also. We talked to different toppers, and they also, I would say, to some extent, they agree to this fact. I would like to know about your opinion also. That did you also feel the same, and if yes, how you were able to tackle it?
Uh, and as I told you, sir, because I have been preparing for the civil services exam, my background was strong in subjects like history, polity, economy, and even current affairs. So the subjects which were new to me were industrial relations, labor laws, and social security. Even social security was covered to some extent in the civil service exam. You study government schemes, and then there is basic accounting principles. These are all the areas which were new to me and which I had to spend some time, when I decided to appear for this exam. If you ask me about the level of the questions, for those people who prepare for the civil services, the level of the questions, was more factual. Whereas in the civil services, you get more, subjective questions. Over here, you get very objective, very factual type of questions in the written test. So one needs to prepare for that. One needs to prepare. You could use any source like Spectrum or Lakshmikant, and you need to emphasize on facts for history, polity, economy. So those are some of the differences which I found between the civil service exam and the EPFO written test.
Okay, so the questions were, you mean to say, very much straightforward in nature, but totally factual based. And was there any kind of randomness also in the question, that bizarre type question? Did you also feel that?
There was nothing bizarre, sir. If you take, for instance, subjects like history, polity, they were mostly from the sources which we study. We did not
Okay.
have to go outside the sources that we study. So if somebody is preparing history from Spectrum, then I
Mhm.
think sticking to that would actually be better than looking for the other sources.
Okay, so you are saying that standard sources are sufficient, and only they should be followed instead of
Yes,
moving towards the exceptional type of questions, right?
yes, sir.
Fine, fine. So apart from that, this is what you have shared regarding that part of the syllabus that was overlapping with your civil services preparation. I would like to know in a detailed manner that how did you prepare the other subjects along with the sources? Please, whatever platform you used, any course that you had joined, you are free to share it so that aspirants get a full idea regarding the preparation.
So, because I did not have any introduction to accountancy or industrial relations, I was starting afresh. So, and also, I had only 1 month's time to prepare for the exam. So, what I did was I immediately purchased material from, a popular, commerce and accountancy optional preparation institute basically. So it's called Diademy IAS. I basically got material from them, and I prepared using that material. I also referred to NCRT books from time to time. I was advised to read the bare acts for the labor laws, from which factual information was highlighted, which I constantly revised before the exam. So these are the things that helped me to score well in those subjects as well. So at the end of the day, what I would say is keep the preparation to the basic level. Do not go in detail in any of these subjects. It's not required. One can always refer to the previous year questions. Another aspect which I would like to include here is that UPSC is not conducting only the civil services exam or the EPFO exam. They're also conducting so many other exams like CDS, CAPF, NDA, etc. So what one can do is one can also get the question papers for these exams and look at the overlapping areas and try solving those questions, because the questions that one will see in one's own exam would be very similar to what has already appeared in these exams.
Mhm.
So uh, so i had i barely prepared for 1 month, and all of these things actually helped me to do well in the written test.
Yes, you are very right. Even during my days of preparation, I've also observed that many questions, especially from science and technology, and for example they will ask some kind of defense equipment, and I have also observed that they will ask that question in CDS, and next time they will ask it in civil services. I've seen such kind of overlapping things. So these things do happen. He's 100% right, and you can also go through PYQs and you can witness it yourself. Apart from that, he has given a very good, I would say, learning that you need to have a strong foundation as far as this exam of EPFO is concerned. When I say strong foundation, what I mean to say is that you have to have strong foundation with respect to those subjects that are overlapping with the general studies of civil services. Because once you are comfortable with that, then what you can do, the rest of the efforts you can dedicate to the other type of subjects which are non-overlapping. For example, industrial relations, labor laws, also sort of things. So he has also joined a coaching. He also opted for some kind of coaching institute material, diademy he's suggesting. So whatever suits you, if you think that you can also you are not in a position to go for self study preparation, so you can also join any coaching, whatever makes you comfortable and can add value to your preparation. Fine. And next thing that he has suggested, a very valid point, I would say I totally agree to that point, that if you are preparing for civil services and if you see any other exam also that has similar kind of syllabus with respect to civil services, go through the PYQ of that exam also. And in fact, if you have any interest in that exam, you can appear for that exam also. So this is something, is I would say, a great learning from the side of Kishore. The next thing is regarding, I would like to ask very specifically regarding current affairs. Either you can mention your strategy for civil services. I know it would be similar only because you were already preparing for that. So whatever suits you, you can talk about how did you prepare current affairs, and how did you read newspapers? Did you make note from the newspapers, or just after reading newspapers you were dependent on monthly magazine? What exactly was your strategy for current affairs?
So what I would say is that, sir, reading newspaper is non-negotiable. You cannot do without it. One needs to read it, but when it comes to making notes and all, it is quite hard to be diligent about it. One may start making it, but may lose track.
Mhm.
So that was my experience as well. So what I would do is I would read the newspaper, but I would not, spend a lot of time making notes, because a lot of institutes today are coming up with their own current affairs material. So what I would do is see those compilations. If you look at three or four compilations, they are more than sufficient when it comes to covering the current affairs. When you also keep reading the newspaper, on a daily basis, and at the end of the month, when you look at these compilations, and you will cover those areas which you missed out,
Mhm.
in your reading of the newspaper. But specifically for the EPFO exam, what I would suggest is, EPFO current affairs is not like civil services current affairs, because here it is going to be more factual. It is going to be like CGL exam current affairs. So what I would say is, you need to buy some monthly current affairs magazine, like Chronicle. There are so many monthly magazines that
Mhm.
come. So one can buy such things, because one needs to note current developments in sports, in awards. Such
Mhm.
questions can also come, for EO AO exam. So one needs to also prepare current affairs from that factual perspective, and not do it like the traditional civil services way.
Okay, so which magazine did you follow for specifically for EPFO?
I found Chronicle to be good. Chronicle
Okay,
magazine.
so he found Chronicle to be good, but if there is any other magazine also, for example, CSR is also there, whatever magazine suits you that aligns with similar type of approach and with which you are comfortable, you can go for it. Fine. So that is the idea regarding current affairs and newspapers. So of course, yes, so he was talking about newspapers. So making notes out of newspaper, I also find it very much inefficient approach, because at some point of time you are going to lose track. So whatever suits you, we are not forcing or compelling anything. Maybe you find it efficient to make notes out of newspaper. If that strategy suits you, go for it. But this is Kishore's experience and he has shared it very well. The next thing is regarding timetable. So what was your daily schedule, and how you used to plan your daily targets as far as the exam is concerned?
Yes, sir. So as I said, I focused on those areas which were outside the civil services syllabus, mainly industrial relations, social security, accounts, and computer applications. These were the four main focus areas for me. So what I did was, immediately after studying a topic, I did a sectional test. So it could be hardly 10 questions, 10 multiple choice questions, or I will study three or four topics together and I will solve a 50 question test like that. So on a daily basis, I will solve tests, and that is how I enhance my preparation. Because by solving tests, also you learn a lot. You make mistakes, and from that you get a lot of lessons. You can update your notes and all that. So when you have a short span of time, you should not waste a lot by studying. Rather, you should practice a lot of tests and improve yourself by making more and more mistakes. So that is what I would like to say.
Okay, this is yours. You used to do for, I would say, EPFO exam, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and what was your approach for solving mock tests? Like many students, what they do when their answer is marked incorrectly, so they will flip the pages, they will see the right answer, and they will move on. So, did you also follow the same approach, or you used to do anything that is additional? Let's say you go back to sources, see the book, what was the fault? Maybe you read it wrongly. So, what was your approach regarding that while solving mock test papers?
It was very similar to like what you said, sir. When I make a mistake, I go back to the source material and I reread it, like one or two
Hmm.
sections. I reread it, and I also highlight those areas where I made a mistake. So when I revise, I look at those highlighted portions where I made a mistake. So that is how I avoided making such mistakes again. So that is a strategy which I used.
Yes, see students, this is a great learning that I can say you can take from Kishore, that do not solve mock tests in a passive manner. Stay active, solve the question, and once your answer, once you, let us say you marked any answer incorrectly, so try to find the reason behind it. That what is the reason? Did you misread the question, or maybe when you were reading this content in your textbook, maybe you read it wrongly, or it is conceptual problem, or you were in a lot of hurry, that's why you marked it incorrectly. What is the reasoning behind it? Try to analyze those psychological factors, because they will eventually help in the real examination. So that's how you solve the MCQs, not just by flipping the pages, checking the answer, and then moving on, because that, I would say, is a very passive approach. So the next thing is regarding any kind of distraction that maybe you suffered during the examination process, that created a lot of hurdles or challenges for you, and every time you were looking to overcome those challenges. So what was that I would say significant distraction in your preparation?
Um, because I prepared focusedly for 1 month, I did not face any significant distractions during my preparation for this particular exam. But
Mhm.
because we are also giving so many other exams, we tend to not focus on this exam very much. But one needs to focus on this exam very much, because this exam has a specific syllabus and a specific way in which questions come. So one should not lose focus in preparing for this exam, is what I would say, sir.
And what do you think that if there is an aspirant who has a strong foundation with respect to civil services, he has been a serious aspirant, he's well versed with history, polity, all such economics, all such type of subjects. Now, what do you think? What is the time span? Though it depends on person to person, but what do you think is the time span that would be required to prepare for EPFO? That is a non-overlapping syllabus. How much time would be required for that preparation?
Yes, sir. So
Almost.
I was fortunate enough to come across material soon after giving my civil services attempt. Civil services exam happened in the month of May, and this exam happened in the month of July in 2023. So you
Hmm.
hardly have 1 month. So if you get all the material in your hand, 1 month is sufficient for you. Along with a lot of practice, you'll have to spend 7 to 8 hours daily studying and also practicing tests. 1 month would be sufficient, but if you don't have all the material in your hands, then this preparation could take even 3 or 4 months. So it is all about bringing all the material together, restricting oneself to studying, committing oneself to studying that material, and practicing a lot of tests. If one does that, 1 month's preparation could be adequate. But optimally, I would say 2 to 3 months should be good, sir, for this preparation.
2 to 3 months should be good. Fine. So 2 to 3 months should be good. Of course, based on your own circumstances. Let's say you are a working aspirant. So depending on your own circumstances, you can optimize your strategy. But this is, I would say, the time that it would take. So though Kishore has done it within 1 month only, so if you put some extra additional efforts, you would also be able to do that. But for staying at the safe side, you should try to dedicate around 2 months or 3 months for the preparation. Fine, so that you can cover everything in a holistic manner and you are not in a hurry. Fine. So that's a great suggestion. The next thing is regarding your hobby. Do you have any hobbies? And if yes, what are they? And were you able to follow it during your preparation?
Yes, sir. My hobbies, I have multiple hobbies. One is to do yoga. I do meditation on a daily basis. I also have a hobby of solving number puzzles. I love solving Sudoku on Hindu newspaper.
Mhm.
Every day, it's like drinking tea and coffee for me. I also solve other kinds of puzzles. I go for walking, jogging. So these are my hobbies in general.
Okay. And were you able to follow it during your, I mean, preparation journey?
Yes, sir. One needs to commit oneself to doing such extracurricular activities to remain focused. One cannot be too focused on studying alone because that will bring some kind of a saturation, and you
Hmm.
will go into an on-off cycle. That should not happen. It has to be consistent. So if you have to stay consistent in your preparation, you should also have other diversions, like doing hobbies.
Yes, that's a great point, and I 100% agree that if you have any type of hobby, do not think that I will just study. I'm going to compromise completely with my hobby. Though I'm not saying that you should spend 3 to 4 hours on your hobby, but do it in a limited manner. Let's say you like reading books, so you can read it 7 to 8 pages every day at night, whatever makes you feel happy, also sort of things. Fine. So do not totally neglect your hobbies because they will give you mental peace, that psychological relief, and is going to indirectly help you in your preparation also and will help you to stay consistent, as Kishore said. Fine. So the next thing is regarding, let us talk about your interview phase. We have already talked about your background. We know why you were motivated. We now know about how did you prepare the different subjects, especially the non-overlapping subjects in context to civil services. Then we have also seen your timetable and daily schedule, your routine, your hobbies, and now let us talk about your interview. So we will divide it into two parts. The first part is how did you prepare for the interview, and then we will talk about on the day of interview what were the type of questions that were asked and how was your experience. So please share with us that how did you prepare for the interview, what was your approach.
Uh, so uh, there could be two major areas that one needs to prepare because this is not a general civil services interview. Rather, it is more specifically for an organization called the EPFO, and we are going for a specific role like the accounts officer or enforcement officer. One needs to know what those roles are. One needs to know what the organization is all about. So what one needs to do is download the annual report of the organization or the Ministry of Labor and Employment, and one needs to go through those things. What are the mission statement, vision, and what are the important
Mhm.
schemes that the organization is implementing? Who are the kind of beneficiaries and all that? So that is one aspect one needs to prepare. The other aspect is the current affairs. So what is happening around you? So that is where the newspaper reading comes. That is very important. One needs to know what is happening around you in terms of polity, economy, society. Uh, so, uh, so these are the two major areas one needs to focus on. While staying abreast of what is happening around you, you should also be focusing on the role that you're applying for and the organization that you're planning to enter into.
Okay, so for the organization, I'm assuming that you used to follow the website and different reports from the website, right? Apart from that, if anything else is there, you can share that also,
Yes,
the
sir. So
sources.
I found the annual report of EPFO to be very useful. It is a one-point source where you can get most of the information about the organization, how it works, what is the mission, vision, what are the important schemes that they implement, and all that. You also get a lot of data, like how many beneficiaries are there, from different states, etc., etc. So it's a one-point source that one should not miss when it comes to interview preparation. The other aspect is one should also keep following the newspaper. So from time to time, you get news about the Employees Provident Fund organization, both on PIB and also on other newspapers. So you should also keep following that. What are the recent developments with respect to the organization? Because question could as well come from that. Recently EPFO has announced this or that. What do you think about it? So one needs to limit one's sources because one also has to revise. Do not keep reading because that will keep going on and on. So that is the reason why I'm saying annual report could be very useful. The website itself is a very important source that one could look at, and then the newspaper. These are the three areas that one should look at.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing it in an elaborative manner. It is going to be very helpful for the viewers. Now, please also share with us that how was your interview day and any do's and don'ts that you would like to share, and also what were the type of questions that were asked.
Uh, my This is my first interview at the UPSC, so I have not given any other.
Sorry, you're not audible. I think
So,
something fell down.
so
Yes.
uh, on the day of the interview, one should not be nervous. One should be calm and composed, because that is what the interview board is expecting from you. The questions that the interview board asks, it depends on your detailed application form that you provide, all the details that you provide. So be very careful in how you fill the detailed application form, because the questions that would come at you would be mostly based on the detailed application form. So initially, you will be asked general current affairs based questions. So if you take my case, I was asked questions on toxic work culture, and also about Infosys Narayanamurthy sir's comment that we should have a
Mhm.
70-hour work week, uh, and when what I thought about it. So these were so as I said, current affairs based questions can come. A lot of others were also asked, EPFO based questions about the organization and the schemes that EPFO is implementing and all that. So these are generally the kind of questions that get asked. So what I would say is one should answer very calmly and very confidently whatever one knows, and that would be well received by the board.
Was the board cordial with you?
Yes, they were very cordial. They were not asking any difficult questions. When I did not know an answer to the question, I honestly told them that I did not know, and they simply moved on to the other areas. So the board is very cordial. One need not be nervous. One need not, one should stay calm and composed. That is
Yes.
what the board is expecting.
Yes, this is also a great point that you don't have to try to be perfect. If you don't know the answer, simply say no. Do not bluff and do not try to show that you know everything. If you don't know, simply accept that in a humble manner and move on. And trust me, the person who is listening you is going to notice that and he is going to respect you for that. So do not try to bluff when you don't know the answer. So that's a great point. Now, I think we have talked about multiple type of points. We have talked about multiple type of areas. Whatever is relevant as far as the preparation of the aspirants is concerned. Lastly, I would like to also ask you that has EduTap played any small, a very small, tiny contribution in your preparation? And if not, you can tell that honestly. You don't have to say any just good things. If you disagree, you can say share that also.
As I told you, sir, I practiced sectional tests after studying every topic. As I told you, I did that from EduTap, and it was very helpful for me. I also gave full mock tests with EduTap, and during the interview stage as well, I did a mock interview with you. So throughout the preparation for this exam, EduTap has been with me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Okay, thank you so much for the feedback. Apart from that, last and final question. The final advice that you would like to give to the aspirants regarding this exam, a final tip, because you have seen everything, you have cracked this exam also. So please give some kind of, I would say, concluding sentence regarding this.
What I would like to suggest the aspirants is that this is a very good exam that one should consider preparing for. Do not take it lightly. Uh, a lot of aspirants take this exam lightly because they are aiming for something higher, the civil services. But what I would say is certainly aiming high is good, but one should also take the opportunities that come along one's way and not wait till one attains the final destination. So, taking this exam seriously is actually like a stepping stone in reaching one's final destination. So, what I would suggest aspirants is that this is a very good opportunity to serve the country. This role is a very nice role. So, take this exam seriously and work hard, and you will get results.
Yes, so take the exam seriously, do not take it lightly, and give you 100%. An important message from the side of Kishore. So, is there anything else that you would like to say and I have not asked regarding it? You can talk about it. There's no problem.
I have said everything I have to say.
Okay, okay. So thank you so much for your time, Kishore, and I hope aspirants that his journey, his experience, his learnings, all these type of things are going to be very helpful for your preparation. And please keep a pen and paper with you and write different do's and don'ts, and based on that you can optimize your strategy. So thank you so much, Kishore, for your time, and we will keep on bringing such selected toppers, which will definitely help you in your preparation. So thank you so much, Kishore, and it has been a great interaction.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.